It is Tuesday, July 21st. I'm Sam Cedar.
And I'm Lucy Steiner. Which one of these stories will you be talking about today?
The search for a coronavirus vaccine yielded some promising results on Monday as the vaccine developed by Oxford University researchers successfully and safely provoked an immune response in several studies. Meanwhile, two women filed a dire lawsuit against Fox News, accusing recently fired host Ed Henry of rape, and accusing both Sean Hannity and Tucker Carlson of sexual harassment. Lastly, Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez introduces legislation to force federal cops to identify themselves as a response to Portland's arrest squads.
You're listening to Majority.fm's AM Quickie, and these are the stories you need to know.
We are still a long way from a usable coronavirus vaccine, but researchers at Oxford University took a pretty significant step on Monday. They claim that they've got a safe vaccine that can produce an immune response based on the results of several studies. An immune response is the thing people are looking for, that a vaccine can actually prevent people from being infected. They've got to do a lot more testing to nail it down, though. The scientists noted that they need far wider studies to confirm the early findings and figure out if the vaccine can actually stop new infections. In the limited study, the vaccine produced an antibody response within 28 days and a T-cell response within 14 days. Most patients looked like they could fight off the virus after one dose, but researchers are recommending a two-shot treatment just in case. The drug company AstraZeneca, who's making this vaccine, says it can produce up to 2 billion doses. Multiple countries have already signed on to take whatever they can make if it works. In the U.S., new outbreaks have gotten so bad that Congress is mulling another stimulus package, and Trump has finally embraced wearing a mask. The Oxford vaccine isn't the only remedy under development, which is good, because at this point, we'll need everything we can get. A new lawsuit levels some incredibly serious allegations at Fox News' biggest personalities. In a new civil suit filed in New York on Monday, Jennifer Eckhart, a former associate producer at Fox Business, accused recently fired anchor Ed Henry of rape and a litany of other sexual crimes. Meanwhile, her co-plaintiff, Kathy Aru, a regular guest on the network, filed a sexual harassment claim against Henry, as well as Sean Hannity, Tucker Carlson, and Howard Kurtz. Fox has clearly been trying to do damage control on this for weeks. The network conducted an independent investigation of Henry and fired him. And today, Salon reported that the network knew of the allegations against Carlson 4 days before his allegedly pre-planned vacation that also coincided with one of his staff members being outed as a white supremacist. Eckhart's allegations against Henry are shocking and graphic, detailing a horrific period of abuse and coercion. The lawsuit claims that the network knew about many of these offenses as far back as 2017, but continued to promote Henry. Rue claims she was humiliated publicly by Hannity in front of his crew, propositioned by Carlson, and frozen out of a career at the network when she refused to sleep with anchors and executives. It's pretty clear that the moral rot at Fox goes far beyond its on-air content and didn't stop with Roger Ailes.
Majority.fm's AM Quickie is fueled by JustCoffee.coop. Just Coffee is a worker-owned coffee roaster based in Madison, Wisconsin that has sponsored the Majority Report for nearly a decade. Check out their collection of fair trade roasts, including our own Majority Report blend. And regardless of what you order, receive 10% off your order when you use the code MAJORITY at checkout. And all shipping is free. That's coupon code MAJORITY at JustCoffee.coop.
Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez and Washington, D.C. Delegate Eleanor Holmes Norton plan to introduce legislation this week to force federal law enforcement agents to clearly identify themselves. The Nation magazine got their hands on a draft of the bill, which is a direct response to the aggressive dystopian strategy by federal officers in Portland, Oregon over the past few days. Federal agents have been involved in escalating violence against Portland's protesters for weeks. Things came to a head last week when Customs and Border Patrol agents started throwing protesters in unmarked rental cars and detaining them with no clear reason. AOC's bill would require on-duty federal agents to display their last name, the name of their agency, and their personal identification number, all things that should be no-brainers, but somehow aren't yet. The bill can't pass soon enough because it looks like the Trump administration's designated federal force won't stop at Portland. On Monday, the Chicago Tribune reported that more agents are poised to deploy to Chicago. Trump himself said he may send forces to Detroit, New York, Philadelphia, and other major cities controlled by Democrats. This is all an intimidation tactic, but as yet, it's unclear if the leaders of these cities can do anything to stop it. Portland officials reportedly asked the DHS to please get off their streets, and Acting Secretary Chad Wolf flatly refused. Who knows if any other city's leadership will put up more of a fight.
And now for some quicker quickies.
Quicker Quickie.
The St. Louis couple who waved guns at Black Lives Matter protesters outside of their mega mansion have been charged with unlawful use of a weapon, a Class E felony according to the area's district attorney. Florida's largest teachers union is suing Governor Ron DeSantis and members of his administration to overturn a sweeping emergency order that would require the state's schools to open up for in-person classes 5 days a week in the fall. Keep an eye on big oil over the next few days. Chevron is buying Noble Energy for $5 billion, which experts think may be the first domino in a wave of industry consolidation as the pandemic takes a heavy toll on big oil companies. A new AP report suggests that John Kasich, the Republican former governor of Ohio, is expected to speak in support of Joe Biden at the DNC, which probably says all you need to know about the constituency Biden is trying to build. That's all for the AM Quickie today. We apologize for its tardiness. This afternoon's Majority Report is going to be dedicated to Michael Brooks. We lost Michael Brooks yesterday to a sudden medical condition. As you can imagine, all of us at the Majority Report and those of us that worked on the Michael Brooks Show, folks at the Jacobin, many folks are devastated by this. We're going to spend this afternoon's Majority Report starting at noon talking about Michael, talking to folks who were close to him and remembering what he gave for all of us. Hopefully we'll see you then.